No, right now we're good.
Okay, are we good?
We are
Well,
good
I was hearing these echo chambers, so I
because
wasn't
I've
sure.
got a whole bunch of different things kind of like that I'm running this Zoom through so that it'll actually show up live on LinkedIn. So now
So all of you people that are watching this live, God bless you for being here.
it's
And all of
recorded.
you people that are, I'm sorry,
It's recorded. We'll put it on YouTube
I was
later.
going to say all of the
It'll be
people that are
fine.
watching and recording, that's okay too. So, so this is our first uh, ASSC live recording, sharing content, and Ed and I were chatting about this, and I thought it would be kind of appropriate to kind of talk strategy just a little bit today. And there's two ways to approach the speaking business, and whichever way you like is it's totally up to you. But you can go out there and chase gigs. You can just speak anywhere, anybody, if you have a topic on whatever your topic is, and speak from industry to industry, association to association, client to client, all over the place. That's totally fine. And that fills your calendar. And there is one downside to that. And the one downside to that is you got to spend the same amount of energy each year filling the calendar to the same level. And after a few years, you get a little tired of the work and maybe you kind of slack off. And then all of a sudden your calendar is not so full. Now, and the opposite side of that thought is what about building authority in an industry or two or three where you can make contributions to that industry over a period of time. And you can, move yourself from subject matter expert to possibly an authority to hopefully a thought leader to, quite frankly, where on your topic, you own that topic in an industry.
You know,
And
and I can actually give a real live example of this right now after a call that I just did for ASSC with Raja. So Raja is a great example of this. So he's been in the ASSC for a couple of years, always struggles. And I made the joke during the call. It took Raja so long because he never listens and he doesn't do what I tell him to do. But he's absorbed the information as everybody eventually does. And in the last couple of months, he's booked himself into Smith GlaxoSmithKline, Pfizer, and some other big pharma company. He has now established himself in that niche that he now knows he can go after pharmacy associations and big pharma associations because he's got the credibility of these big organizations that he's done work with.
yeah,
He can write his own check now because now he is the authority in that space on his topic and he can go out
well,
there.
and that's where he starts building trust. So the thing is, think about, visibility is great. Everybody says, oh, I should speak everywhere and be visible. Well, not necessarily. Visibility is one thing, but when you make contributions to an industry, the various ways that we contribute, that's when we start building trust. And trust builds authority. And you can't build that kind of trust chasing from gig to gig to gig, from industry to industry to industry. Now, if somebody wants to go gig chasing, well, God bless them, go do it. There's no, go do it. But understand when you make that decision, you're also making the decision that every year you're going to have to market just as much as you did the year before if you want that amount of business. And probably new people, young people are going to, new ideas are going to come into the industry, which may, push you to have to marketing even harder. And Aiden, you said when you're talking about Raja pharmaceutical associations, you and I have been talking about that ever since we started the ASSC, that associations truly are the gateway. And, in an association, let's just take any kind of a pharmaceutical related association and using Raj as the example, he can work within that association many ways. I mean, he can speak at their annual meeting, he can do webinars, for the association. He can do articles. He can even attend a meeting where he's not speaking and make contributions. And then authority in that association, then what we're always looking for is the corporate business too. And I think speakers need to understand that speaking at an association is not the destination. It's the gateway.
And
It's the gateway to everything else within that industry. And if an association, using Raja with pharmaceuticals, if that association brings you in to speak, an implied trust, and then other people within that industry are going to trust. And there's the need for the continued um, contributions to that industry. But that's where I think that a lot of speakers don't really understand how this works and don't understand that, yeah, if this year I'm spread all over the place, all of these things all over the place are keeping me from focusing on my preferred industry. And that's keeping me from making the contributions, from building the trust, from moving to subject matter expert to authority to thought leader to someday owning that authority, owning that topic in that industry to where everybody comes to you. You don't have to go market. They
well,
come to
yeah,
you.
the way you're describing it's that gig mentality that a lot of speakers have, where we're almost like Uber drivers. We'll take any gig we can get.
Yeah, there you go.
And we don't want to take any gig we can get. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a business. And that business means real processes, real prospecting. And, I'm a marketing guy, but Ed has taught me nothing is more important than picking up the damn phone. And so maybe marketing is easy because it's fun and nobody says no. Prospecting is hard because it takes work and it has rejection. And we need to build that callus on our hands against the when we're doing the work. That do you get calluses from lifting your iPhone? I don't know, but when you're picking up your phone, and Ed's fancier than me, he's probably got a whole headset. But for most of us, you need to get that callus where it's like the most important word, as Ed you've told me many times in sales, is next. When you get a
Next, yeah,
rejection, you just
yeah.
move right on. So
Yeah, in the early 1990s, when I got into speaking full time, I was in an airplane somewhere from Northern California to Southern California. I don't remember what airports, but just Northern California, Southern California. I ended up sitting next to Les Brown. And Les Brown was a pretty big name in the business 35 years ago
yeah,
when I was sitting next to him in a seat. And I asked him the same stupid question that many newbie full-time speakers ask. Les, how do I get business? He goes, look. I go, what? Look. I go, what? He goes, look. I go, I don't see anything. Cauliflower. Cauliflower in my ear from the phone always being there.
yeah,
And it's like, oh, okay. You got to make the calls. And that was his humorous way of making the point that you got to and okay, that was in the early 1990s. We're in the mid 2020s. And the thing is I know it's harder with phones, but what we've tried to do at ASSC for our members with the unfair advantage tool is help them that if they can't get through on the phone or use in conjunction with trying to get through on the phone a very customized email to where, we put together, mostly you, a little bit me, that the email goes out and it's like, okay, paragraph one, let me prove to you I understand your industry. Paragraph two, let me prove to you that my topic will help your members. Paragraph three, let me prove to you why I'm the right person to present on this topic. Now, when that kind of customized email hits an association executive's inbox, coupled with a telephone message or two,
yeah,
or maybe even a LinkedIn message or two, then all of a sudden the person realizes, oh, you know, this speaker is serious. the speaker has something for me, is proving to me that he or she has something for me, it's worth my time to take a look. And those emails, one of the things that, those 80 interviews that I've done so far of decision makers for associations, they keep telling me when a customized email comes in that really explains who the speaker is and how the speaker is going to help us, I keep those. When the spam emails come in, they're immediately deleted. And so the people that think when you're talking about marketing, emails, 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 it makes you feel good, but nothing's happening. It's activity, but activity doesn't equal results.
Boom. That's exactly it. Like with these emails, it's so easy for all of us to like it's changed so much, right? Like when I first got into this racket in 2005 as the marketing director for a speaker, I'd work all week looking for gigs. And if I found four that were a pretty good match, I'm not saying you landed four, if they were a pretty good match, that was a pretty good week, right? And then you kind of work on
Yep.
the assets to start applying for those engagements. And that was a full-time job. Like that was it, right? It was a full-time job. That and writing different stuff for them. Now, with the advent of AI, everybody knows about AI. It's called artificial intelligence. If you haven't heard about it, you might want to look it up if you haven't. You can find infinite gigs. You can find every event in America that's exactly aligned to what you do, like in seconds. Now it's gone from I can't find any gigs to there's so many I don't know which ones to apply for. And more importantly, when you're thinking about uh, all of these events and sending out these customized emails, it's easy for us to send out 25,000 emails a day, right? We can all do that. How many of these emails are actually getting into the boxes of the people we need to reach? And if we're all doing that, how many emails are they getting every day? Which another thing you mentioned was the phone call, which again, nobody does. Now,
Very few, very
and what
few.
very few, the successful ones do for sure. And guess who, on the ASSC who's sticking out? The ones that are actually picking up the phone.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I've learned about this, and this is another evolution now that we can find infinite gigs, here's a little revelation. Nobody picks up the phone anymore. If you don't recognize, I don't pick up, if I don't recognize a phone number, I don't pick it up. I'm sure it's the same with you, Ed. Same with everybody. So I've been telling everybody to do a 5-5-5-5 method for the last 6 months, right? Every day you find five prospects, super easy to find the five prospects. Send them, each of those prospects gets an article, an email, and a voicemail. Now, if you do the 5-5-5-5-5, that is 25 a week. Now, anybody who has consistently done 25 a week in the ASSC or anybody else I've told, one person a week answers the phone. That is a 96% chance of getting a voicemail. So if you're submitting an article, then you're emailing with exactly the email that Ed just described, and then you're following it up with a voicemail saying, hey, I submitted an article and I just sent you an email. If they've got 300 emails in their inbox, guess which one's going to get seen next? Oh, I just picked up the voicemail. Let's look up Ed. Let's see what this email is. And they open up the email and it's everything Ed said. How do I understand your industry? This is how I can help them. And this is why I'm the perfect guy to deliver the content. Like
Absolutely.
that is the process, guys. And if
Well,
you want to be an Uber driver, you could be an Uber driver. But
there's another
really,
process. You can add one more element to that if you like. One of the things that I've been doing quite a lot lately is I will send an email to somebody, and then I will, and I've been doing a lot of these to people I'm connected to first degree on LinkedIn, and then I will send them a LinkedIn note, just a sentence or two. Hey, I'm sending you an email about X. Would you please open it and take a look? And then I get a bit of notes back. Yeah, I'll be happy to. Well, something that just that just helped push my email at least to the top of the pile, at least to maybe be opened and looked at. So I think that in addition to using the phone, I think that some people, can and some people can't. But if you've got quite a number of LinkedIn connections, and also let's get back to let me back up just a little bit. If you're putting a lot of focus in one or two or three industries, and you're focusing on connecting with people in those one or two or three industries, and once you've connected with a few people, then when somebody looks at, do I want to connect with you? Well, oh, look there, you're connected with four people that I'm connected with that are in my industry. So there's a better chance they'll connect. Um, and and if you're connected with somebody and you send them a quick note, not a sales letter,
Oh,
God, do
oh,
that. I when I connect with somebody and somebody sends me immediately a sales letter, then I go in and disconnect. But it's a
same here, same here.
or I'll sometimes send them a letter first. Hey, why don't you buy me a cup of coffee before you try to take me to bed, and then I'll disconnect. But but if you're using LinkedIn as LinkedIn is intended for relationship building via relationship bank deposits, then it works. And if you connect with somebody that's in a targeted industry and they connect with you and you respond back, hey, thanks so much for the connection, appreciate it, best to you. Leave it at that.
Yeah.
Then come back a week or two later and do something. But um, just again, I'm connected to probably 10,000
Yeah.
association people. So I got a lot to choose from. And especially with direct line, with first line, you can do that. And if you're not first line, a lot of people remember if you pay that $59 for LinkedIn Premium, you get a whole ton of in-mails. Now, the in-mails every month, you use them or lose them. So that's another option. But I I think that Aiden, to your point, there's lots of ways to attack this beast of a decision maker to get mind share. And maybe there is no one absolute right way. There's a bunch of
Oh,
good ways.
there's a million different ways to do it. I think the trick is consistency. And I
Mhm,
think
mhm.
with speakers, the ones that we know, the ones we work with, consistency is the differentiator between those who are successful and those who aren't. And the reason that I said the five, I pulled those numbers 5, 5, 5, 5 out of my ass. That's how I created the program because I didn't want people to be overwhelmed. I want to give them something that this is something you can do every day for an hour, right? That's it. I'm
Yeah,
asking you to do 1 hour of prospecting a day. Now, most speakers won't do the 1 hour of prospecting because that's too much work. They build their website, they spend far too much money on their website, and then they put it up there, it's like Field of Dreams. You build it and they will come. And then nobody shows up, nobody's hiring them. It's like, oh, well, I've got this great website, I've got this great topic. I've seen some of the other speakers in my industry and they're not very good. I should be hired, but they're not doing any prospecting themselves. They're just hoping that they've got that hopium that somebody's going to find them. And I don't know any speaker, like maybe you do, Ed. You've been doing it longer than me. I don't know any speaker that's ever had somebody just randomly come to their website and hire them for an engagement. There's always been a referral in there, or there's
mhm.
been they've reached out to them through email and voicemail. Like a Google search your whole business is dependent on somebody searching for you on Google. That's not a business.
Yeah. It's you might snag one here and there. But I think it gets back to uh, it takes focused prospecting in a focused industry.
Yes.
So if and like just with your 555, when I joined NSA, my first NSA convention, National Speakers Association convention, was 1988. Met Joe Charbonneau. He took me off the side, said, bring your recorder, I'll talk to you. And his was 12, 12, 12, 12, 13. You have to make 12 calls Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you have to make 13 calls on Friday. And that,
That's prospecting.
anyway, the thing is though that what Joe never taught me, and what was never taught years ago in the halls of National Speakers Association was industry focus. It
Mm,
was just like, go build a speech, do a great job, and you're going to get spin-offs from that speech. Build a website, no. It's like, as we started this, if you want to be a gig chaser, which is totally fine, you can do it, but you're going to be working every bit as hard this year, next year, and the year after. But if you take some of the things that we've talked about on prospecting and you prospect with a focus on an industry, I mean, as an example, let's take Lisa Ryan. Lisa Ryan focuses on manufacturing. I just sent her an email this morning that Michigan Society of Association Executives has the meeting planner from Michigan Manufacturing Association doing a workshop. And I sent Lisa a note, said, hey, you might want to sign up for this workshop because that's where you can get to know a person that's probably a gatekeeper to all the manufacturing in Michigan, which is her target market.
yeah.
So the idea is, you know, within your target market, and why associations are such a great gateway, because every association, not only will they have a meeting decision maker that you can connect with, they'll probably have a education department decision maker that you can connect with. They'll probably have a concurrent body
Mm,
liaison that you can connect. Well, what's a concurrent body? Chapters, sections, whatever, every association calls it something different. Then don't forget, in addition to the annual meeting, there might be a leadership meeting, a marketing meeting, an HR meeting. And then in addition to that, if it's a large enough industry, all the executive directors from all the state chapters might have an association executive council meeting that they come to. And at the big annual meeting, they all get together for a lunch or something and talk about their issues. Just think, how
yeah.
good would it be for a speaker to speak in front of 50 or so state executive directors of the associations in your target market? So, I mean, I, if somebody says, well, once I call two associations, there's nobody else to call. Wait, wait a minute, wait a minute. Let's just take the first association. Did you go after the chapters? Did you go after all the other meetings? Did you go after the education department? Oh, and by the way, did you contact the editor or the publications department to try to get a column or to contribute your articles? Again, I said early on, how much you contribute to an industry helps move you from subject matter expertise to authority to thought leader.
And
And
our friend Jim Feldman has done this
mhm,
in the travel and
yeah,
incentive industry.
mhm,
He is now writing a quarterly column for four of the biggest travel magazines, industry travel magazines in America. He's got a quarterly column in four of them, right?
it's a
And
contribution,
it's a
contribution to the
it's a
industry.
contribution. The exposure to hundreds of thousands of industry insiders, that can't. Everything helps on the margins. I'm saying this more and more lately. We all do 99% of the same stuff. Well, those of us that are actually doing the active prospecting, we're doing the emails, the phone calls. We're doing the same stuff. What separates the elite speakers, the ones that are working all the time, it's the stuff they do in the margins. It's writing those articles. It's just little things that you go, that in and of itself is not going to get me a speaking engagement. But it's separating me from the herd of everybody else chasing that same gig.
Yeah,
And somebody like Feldman, everybody in that industry knows who he is now because he's writing regularly for their industry magazine.
no.
And he's going to
And
be easier to sell for their.
and it takes some years of contribution. And this is the thing that, you know, So try to get speakers to understand they get into the business and chase gigs to fill their calendar, but don't start making contributions to their preferred industry or two or three, as opposed to the other speaker that gets into it, chooses two or three industries, constantly making contributions to those industries, constantly, getting speaking engagements in the associations of those industries. And all of a sudden, 10 years later, everybody in that industry knows that speaker. And other speakers go, well, that person's just lucky.
Oh no,
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 they were strategic. They had a strategy to build authority. So 10 years from now, I don't have to work as hard as I work now getting my calendar filled. And 10 years ago, when I'm moving from authority to thought leader, those people are now calling me. I don't have to call them anymore.
and I think you know what? I think that's a great place to end it because I think that's exactly what we're talking about here, which is how to actually have that sustainable business where you've got the authority, the credibility, and it's an actual business and you're not an Uber driver for stages. You're literally building a business. You're the chauffeur. You own the chauffeur company. You are not the Uber driver chasing gigs. People are calling you and saying, I need you, and you deliver the service that they require in their industry, and that's how you do it. And it's not difficult, but it is work. And I think people just have to get beyond the I don't want to do work, or AI can do all of it for me, because it can't, and we can go into that in some other LinkedIn live. But right now, I just want everybody that's watching this and just to internalize that being a speaker is a career. And you can't have a career unless you want to do the work, or unless you do the work. Whether you want to do the work or not, irrelevant. It's got to be done.
Got to do it.
Got to do it. So you got to send those emails, but that's not enough. If you're just sending the emails, it's not enough. If you're sending in the articles, that's great. It's building up your credibility. You send the emails, follow up with a voicemail. That's it. And it's a voicemail. 96% of the time, they don't answer the phone. You're following up with a voicemail, but that voicemail will boost the chance of your email getting seen. And just before I end it, when you do the 5 by 5 by 5 by 5, what we're finding is 80% of the people never get back to you. But that's okay. The 20% that do get back to you, half of them don't pay, so you don't worry about it. Leaves you with 10 prospects. That's out of 100 outreaches a month. Leaves you with 10. And your goal from those 10 is to land between 2 and 5. And
And something,
you will
maybe,
match up.
maybe on our next live, maybe we should talk about the strategy of how getting through to editors, because they're so much easier to get through to, and making those industry contributions, which is a relationship bank deposit, turns into truly finding who the decision makers are. So you're marketing to the right person.
Go
And
figure.
I think that maybe that will be our next LinkedIn Live, talking about that, strategy to help them not waste their time sending emails to people that aren't decision makers.
Or the info at box.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
All right, and
absolutely.
I think this was great. We promised you guys half an hour. This is half an hour. We'll be back here. Are we doing this weekly or monthly? What are we doing this?
Yeah, we're doing this weekly for a
Weekly. All right.
while. We're
It's
doing
our summer. It's our summer speaker series. Let's call it our summer speaker series. So
we're doing
this
it. Yeah.
we will be doing this June and July and August. So you will see us next week, same time, same bad planet, and we'll have a new topic. And we are really our goal: get you on stages, get you paid. That's it. Right.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we
Good.
should we should plug the ASSC. Go to
Yeah, do that.
speakercommunity.org. Check us out. You know, we're here for you. We're really just focused on helping you build a business.
Well, let me just make a small little sales pitch. If you're really serious about this business and you want help to get into associations, which are the gateway to the industry, the speakercommunity.org, it's inexpensive. It's a great place to come and learn. And the really cool thing about it is you can just join for a month if you want. We don't make you sign up for
Ever.
any length of time. It's like come and check us out. If it makes sense, great. If it doesn't make sense, move on. So there's my there's my sales pitch for
Love
our
it.
community.
All right, guys. That's been great. Ed, I will talk to you soon.
Very good.
I will end our LinkedIn live and I think we are good to go. All right.